Welcome to the Man United show. We are live and we've got a full house and plenty to discuss. We'll be discussing Paul Pogba and his Pogumentary. We'll be discussing a couple of transfers and the main subject of tonight, which is the Manchester United fixture list is out. I'm joined by my co-host Nathan Ellington. How you doing, Nathan?
All good. Looking forward to this one.
All right, and guests on the panel tonight are Garth. How you doing, Garth?
Good, mate. Thanks for asking.
Alex, how you doing, Alex?
I'm hot and bothered, but thank you.
And thank you, Marcel. Thank you, Marcel. And Marcel as well. How you doing, Marcel?
Evening, guys. I'm looking forward to this one as well.
All right. Let's get it started. So he may have left, but he's not going anywhere, and he's making sure he's letting it know that Manchester United have made a massive mistake in letting him go. Not just letting him go. Paul Pogba has come out and said that essentially has revealed in his documentary coming up on Amazon Prime, which I'll be ready for, that Mino Raiola had conversations with him when Man United offered him a contract in 2021, to which his reply was it was a nothing contract. The offer was nothing, and Mino Raiola basically said he should have made a team around him. Nathan, we'll go to you first of all. Paul Pogba's come out. He's made it clear he wasn't happy at moments during his time at Manchester United. What's your thoughts on this documentary that's coming out? What should we say?
You know what? I haven't seen much of this. To be fair, I didn't see a lot of the detail. I don't know if others have got more detail than I can give my opinion on what they know, because I haven't seen as much as everyone else might have seen. So I might have to go last on this one. All right.
It's all right. So basically, Paul Pogba is speaking on a new documentary on Amazon Prime called The Pogumentary. What a name. That's a brilliant name. It says, my thoughts on the process is to show Manchester United that they made a mistake in waiting to give me a contract. So essentially, he's not happy, not just that the fee was offered, but the fact he was made to wait for a contract. And he didn't feel at any point that Manchester United were there to make a team around him. Alex, I'm going to go to you next because I know you are one that definitely wanted to speak about this. What's your thoughts on the situation here with Paul Pogba and his comments?
Do you know what? I'm just so disappointed. I'm so disappointed. I think those comments were made, I think, in 2021. I think that was the gist of what I kind of understand. And during that time, there was a whole situation. I think I remember when it was before, it wasn't Champions League. I think it was a Europa League game. And he'd come out, or Mino Raiola had come out and said some stuff. And then I remember Paul Scholes was saying, like, this is not good, especially ahead of a team game, etc. And I was like, it's not him, it's his manager. And I was really defending him, like, backing him so hard. And there's been so many times people have said he's in it for the money, etc., etc. And I think I was reading more, and I think the money they were offering him, I don't think that was a bad deal. I feel like, what more do you want? I just don't get it. And it's really annoying to me. And it all kind of seems like, if you look at it retrospectively now, like he had already made these comments. And now over the season, you've seen it progress. Like, he's not done much. He's not really been in it. The are you staying, are you not? We all know that basically from last year, he wasn't committed to staying anyway. And it's just disappointed me, because it's like, he's come out and said, oh, he wants to prove to Manchester United that he can, the player that he is. But why haven't you proved that in the 6 years that you're with us? Why haven't you shown that? Why haven't you been consistent? Why haven't you made that effort? Like, that is what really annoys me. I find it really annoying when players leave and they have all this mouth, but they don't sort of prove it on the pitch at the time. So yeah, I'm ticked off, because I was team Pogba all the way, and now I'm like, good riddance. I'm glad that you're gone. I'm glad that you weren't paid that much, because we would have been having like literally a Cavani situation all the time. You've been getting paid 400k plus, and we'd be seeing you sit on the bench. Do you think that would really make United fans happy to see that? That would make us even more upset and more angry. And I can't even imagine, like, the people that are paying the wages, they'd be even more annoyed. So yeah, good riddance. I'm glad he's going. I'm glad he's gone.
All
Sorry.
right. All right. We'll go to you next, Marcel. Mr. Positivity. Can you add a positive spin on this? What are you saying?
Unfortunately, no. I 100% agree with Alex. Footballers are doing documentaries now. This is the spectrum of the game now. It's so global. It's so big. People want to see documentaries about footballers complaining about their wage structure and how much they're getting paid. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Throughout his tenure, he hasn't performed to the level that we expected. I agree with those that would say we needed someone to accompany his style of football. And it's a shame now that, he's leaving, because at the end of the day, I think Ten Hag would have been able to find that, or been able to best get the kind of performances that we wanted from him. But I'm 100% happy that he's gone. Nobody is bigger than the club, and that includes Paul Pogba. So the positive spin is that he's gone. He's gone now, and we can turn a new chapter. And he's one of those players that have been through this kind of toxic period that Man United has been in terms of lack of major honors in the Champions League and the Premier League, and he has to move on now. So I'm very happy that that's the position that we're in now.
All right. God, Paul Pogba says that Man United, him and Raiola said that Manchester United should not just have offered him more money, but in this next contract should have made it clear that the team is going to be built around him, and they should have done it. He said the words were they should have done it differently to how they done it when he first came. Does he have any point there?
No, he's got no point there at all, has he? Period. I mean, for me personally, this is reality TV. This is all done for the cameras. So there's no, this is probably scripted, knowing how these things work. You know what I mean? This is 100% done for the cameras. He was always on his way out. We could have offered him 550 grand, 600 grand a week. He wasn't staying. The fans hated him at the end. Just looked like we were booing him off the pitch, which I didn't like, to be quite honest with you. But that is what happened, you know what I mean? Along with literally telling him to leave. He was never staying. So it doesn't matter what we offered to him. It doesn't matter how we offered it to him. He was gone, you know what I mean? I will say, though, that I don't think it was the personnel around him. We never played him in the right position, ever. And I have to disagree with myself. I don't think he would have worked with Ten Hag's system at all, period. He doesn't have the legs. He doesn't run. He's too much of a miracle player. He's too much of a showman. You know, he just wouldn't have worked for the team at all, I don't think. So, listen, I think we're all the same boat. We're all happy that he's gone. 29, Juventus can get the next good 3-4 years out of him and play him in his right position, which is much further up the pitch than we ever played him. He's not a centre mid. He's not a 6. He's barely an 8. He's in between an 8 and a 10. So, we've played him left wing, right wing, centre mid, DM, attacking midfielder. He never settled in our squad. We never had the team. I do agree that we should have built a team around Paul Pogba when we signed him. When we signed him back 6 years ago, we 100%, he was one of the world's best players. We should have kept him in that attacking midfield role, and we should have bought players to build around him as well. So I agree slightly that it was personal, but I don't think that's all it. I was you can't ask that sort of player to be a box-to-box running midfielder. He just isn't. He hasn't got a defensive bone in his body. My biggest problem with Pogba was always this. He picks up the ball 10 yards from our area, wants to shield 3 men off and do a couple of tricks to get through them, and then loses the ball. That happens so many times. So, no, listen, all for cameras, in my opinion, the Pogumentary. It's just scripted reality TV, and it was done on purpose so that he's got an excuse as to why he left on the terms that he left, which is he wasn't loved and he didn't get offered the contract. How do you offer the contract in the right way? But anyway, yeah, happy he's gone, and I wish him the best. So,
all right, Nathan. So after all of that, what's your thoughts on the situation? Does Paul Pogba have a point? Should Man United have tried to build a team around him? Should they have offered him a new deal in a different way? Should they have offered him a new deal and done it in a different way to when they first signed him, i.e. built a team around him?
Yeah, the problem there is, look, it's a classic case of misuse of a football player. We all know he's got great abilities, what he's got, but what he doesn't have, we played him for, in that way for what he doesn't have. It doesn't make sense. It didn't make sense. And we were in a transition, and we could never support him in bringing out his strengths, consistently. Every now and again, you see some magic from him. And he was he did have the most output. If you looked at all the stats, you would see Pogba number 1 on all of them in his first season. He did well, but we were struggling. So then people still were getting at him. So we were never going to put him in the right position. We don't have a position for him in the formations that we play. He needs loads of legs around him. I'm happy he's gone, but I know he's a very good player in the right system. We're never going to get the best out of him. So obviously now looking back, we should have let him go a lot earlier and take some money for him. And then we would have gone and got someone who fits our system. Football's about systems. That's why Sir Alex Ferguson was so good. He could get a player just for his system. He didn't care if he's a big time or a guy that you've never heard of. He will find a player and fit him in that system and goes, yes, that's exactly what I need. That's why he didn't play Pogba. That's why he didn't keep Pogba in the first place. He probably knew what he could get out of him and that he wouldn't be able to do the job. So for me, let him go. He's got a point. He has got a point that they should have done something and played my way of football. I understand that. But at the end of the day, it didn't work for the club. So that's what makes, this is the most important thing. Didn't work for the club. Nothing against you, Pogs. Your strengths are your strengths. Your weaknesses are your weaknesses. And they both came out at times, but your weaknesses got shown up more because it wasn't your way of football. And let's go move on to the next chapter. That's why I didn't even really listen. I didn't really look at the news about him because he's gone. I didn't even think, you know what? I ain't looking at it because he's gone in my mind. He's gone. I'm not looking at him coming in. I'm not thinking of, is he going to come in the starting lineup next season? He ain't there. To me, he's no longer Man United. And obviously, we all know he isn't. So let's move on from that chapter and let's try and find a player probably not as good, like physically or not as good technically, but we want to get someone who fits the system and is better for the team. That's all we need.
Do you think that Erik ten Hag could have got something out of him?
I can't see how. Unless you're going to play a formation like Juve do, where you got 2 other players who are like much more dominant, and then Pogba's like the guy who nobody really looks at because there's so many other players to think about. That's when Pogba shines the most. Like, he's in France. Nobody's going, let's stop Pogba, because they've got too many other people to think about. Then all of a sudden, Pogba's free and he does his thing and he kills it. When he was at United, it was, let's stop Pogba, because he was the only guy who could do something. And then you stop Pogba, you stop United. And that's what was happening a lot of times. So, yeah, that's just the way it is, isn't it? It's the way it is.
Right, so...
And hopefully slower football, not much more running to do. He's going to probably look great there again. But same as what happened with Lukaku, isn't it? In Italy, got and killed it. Everyone thought he was, 10 times better player. It's the same when you come back. What's that about?
I'm just not buying this whole Lukaku's just trash.
He's
not trash. You ain't said trash. You ain't said trash.
Just
yeah.
behind world class.
Yeah,
everyone thought he became world class and then come back and he's still just behind world class. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know. But I just can't.
Lukaku for me is another player like Pogba. You need to build the team around him, and neither Man United nor Chelsea ever did that. They don't play to Lukaku's strength, which is bombing wingers, coming down, hitting balls in. We all know his first touch is atrocious
he needs to have the defender there, arm's length, and he can turn him. Once he's turned him, he's done. You're done.
He needs to be facing that way.
Yeah. And Chelsea have been playing all the way down there. So he's got to get past 4 men and the midfield just to even get around the area. You want him around the area.
Yeah. Even when he's playing for Belgium,
he's
on it, like he's running at you.
He's running.
Dangerous.
He goes like that. He does it with his eyes. It's like that. To De Bruyne. Like it's telepathy.
Yeah.
There. Ball through.
Best that. That's why lower teams, when other teams come and press, there's loads of space in behind, and that's when he can kill it. But when there's no space, he ain't got much, and that's what I don't like. That's the top players. Van Persie, the Agueros, they score with no space. He can't do that too much.
I'll tell you one thing. Lukaku's agent must be laughing all the way to the bank, mate. Like £300 million transfers in like 6 years. He must be well happy, that geezer. So,
he's absolutely buzzing. Absolutely buzzing. All right, next up is a man who could potentially take his place. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's been through it all, and he's come out shining. His name is Christian Eriksen. He's on a free transfer after leaving Brentford. Tottenham are linked with him, but the rumours around are picking up that Manchester United have made an offer to Christian Eriksen. Well, it's not rumours; it's actually true. So it's down to the man himself. Nathan, what's your thoughts on Christian Eriksen? Are you a fan of him? Do you, in fact, I know you are. You actually, weird thing is, actually, I remember you mentioned this a few weeks ago. You said we should make a move for Christian Eriksen, and lo and behold, Man United have.
Yeah, the position we're in, we can't try and get too many. We can't try and target the best of the best because they're not going to come to us. But Eriksen is a great. He's obviously getting on a bit, but we can see he's still got a bit left. And he's a better replacement for Mata, isn't he, for now? So for me, him coming in the squad would be great. And he probably would be able to take over. He probably could take over Bruno's spot if Bruno doesn't keep the ball well enough. Like if he comes in and doesn't keep the ball well enough, I could see Eriksen getting in front of him and actually playing games and setting people up and being more consistent. So he's just a good player to have in the squad, whether he's going to start, whether he's on the bench. I don't mind. He's a very, very good player. And every time I saw him for Tottenham, I loved him. And now you see him for Brentford, I loved him. And look, Brentford won 7 of their last 11 games because he's there. That says something for a team struggling. It's like LeBron James jumping into Cavaliers. Cavaliers are crap and he comes in and they become a challenging side. Obviously not challenging Brentford, but you know what I mean? That's kind of the run that they had at the end of the season because he was in the side, creating proper opportunities, keeping the ball. So yeah, top player, and I love him. I'd love to see him there for now, as this part of the season, in this part of the rebuild, should I say?
What do you think he would bring to Man United that they're missing?
Just the ability to have the ball in tight spaces, keep the ball under pressure, and deliver quality to the other players in the box. Because that's one thing we really lack. You see so many times Dalot's out wide, doesn't get there. You got Shaw, you got Wan-Bissaka, you got everybody. Tellez, ball doesn't get to where you want it to get with great quality. Corners, Bruno hits the first man. It's a dipper all the time. Like, why are you free kicking a corner for? We need who can do the right things. And he, very, very consistent. Very consistent. And you know what? He's got end product. So efficiency is the word. He's very efficient. And efficient football players, we need much more of those in our side if we're going to do anything next season.
All right. Garth, a fan of Christian Eriksen? Would you like to see him at Man United?
Yeah. If we were in a better position, I'd be saying no, obviously, but we're not. These are the level players we need to be going for now. For me, he's underneath that second tier of footballers. You know what I mean? I don't class him as like world class or international class. He's a good player, but we need him because we've got nothing. I think he'll fit Ten Hag's system quite well as well. Like Nathan saying, calm on the ball, great passing range on him, can really link that like midfield defence to the attack. Yes, I don't see any reason not to, if that makes sense. You know, on a freebie, it just comes down to why would he want to come to Man United if we're not going to offer him first team football and we've got Bruno.
Yeah, so do you think that's his, like, considering what he's been through? Do you think that's his goal now? For me personally, I'm speaking from my point of view. If I was Christian Eriksen and I've gone through that, I don't think my goal would be to play week in, week out every game. My goal now would potentially be, let's go to a big team, let's start winning some trophies, because I've got nothing to show for my football career apart from memories.
Did he not win anything at Inter Milan at all?
Actually, might have won the league.
Yeah, but anyway. Yeah, but I mean, that's the big thing. Win trophies. Man United aren't competing. We're a shambles of a club at the moment. This is what I mean. Why would he want to walk into this when Spurs are on the table? If Spurs come in with a serious offer...
Seriously, you just said it. Like, seriously, that's not even a joke. Spurs have not won anything in 20 plus years. Yeah,
but they're Champions League. And we're sixth. Spurs are a much better run club than us at the moment. Much better. So, much better. I know you're an Arsenal fan and you don't want to hear that.
No, bro. I don't put that. Forget that. It's got nothing to do with Arsenal. Man United are not run well at the moment, yeah. But we're talking about who's got more of a chance of winning the trophy.
Spurs.
You're genuinely saying Spurs have got more chance of winning the trophy than Man United.
If you wanted me to put a bullseye on like 50 quid on someone, Man United or Spurs winning a trophy next year, yeah, Spurs all day. League Cup, like they're not going to win the league, obviously, but neither are Man United. Look at our team at the moment. It's the exact squad that we've got from last year. We finished 6th, our worst points total ever in the Premier League era. Why would you come in?
I've seen clubs bounce back from that. Like,
but that's the gamble.
But this is the start. But surely this is the start of Man United on their way back.
Really? What? Throw it out to the panel. What are you seeing right now that suggests Man United are on their way back?
They've got a new manager. They've got structure. They're building structure.
I mean, they're intangibles to me, mate. That ain't what structure. Yeah, we've got a new what structure? Richard Arnold. No transfers are getting done. Everyone around us is making moves. Arsenal today just signed that quality Vieira that I was talking about.
But bruv, put it this way, yeah. Okay. You say this, yeah, but beforehand, before 12 o'clock today, 95% of Arsenal's heads were wobbling because they were looking at Tottenham, they were looking at all these other teams, and they were seeing clubs sign. This is what I mean. Yes, we hear these things that are coming out. We hear that Man United have made an approach for Christian Eriksen. But there's other things that have to be going on that you're not hearing. There must
I hope so, man.
There has to be. Man United need a massive rebuild. They need big changes in the team. They can't be sitting there with the transfer window already going and nothing's happening. They've got to have learned from what they've done previously or what they didn't do previously, which is get their deals in early doors.
Yeah. Well, it's early doors now. My last comment will be this. I saw it on Twitter. Erik ten Hag is getting David Moyes at the moment, and every day that goes by, it feels more and more like that.
But David Moyes just needed time. Let's remember that.
No, I mean, like when David Moyes walked in, he had this transfer list that he wanted to get people, and none of them came because we couldn't get any deals over the line. But anyway, sorry, I'm hogging all the time here. So
allow David Moyes.
Marcel, Christian Eriksen, fan. Would you like to see him there? Could he make some half decent changes to Man United?
Super fan. So firstly, Kieran, I like what you said in terms of his mindset. I feel like his mindset now in this stage of career, I don't think he should be playing every week. Just wanted to say something, Garth. I think Eriksen has said that he doesn't mind. Like Champions League is not a massive, poignant point for him. It's not something that he believes is imperative for him to sign a deal for any in particular club, what he does going forward. So, but I do agree with you, though, that next season, out of the two clubs, Manchester United are the lesser team in terms of who's more likely to get a trophy. I think in the long term, we are possibly more likely. But maybe for next season, Conte, he's strengthening. Nathan was talking about managers that are able to get players that are able to do a specific job. Conte definitely fits in that role. The players that he will bring in, they're not even the most luxurious or exuberant kind of footballers, but they know how to work within a system. He's bought Perisic, I believe. That's one example of a player that's not at his highlight of his career, but has that one particular role, and he would do it well. So I think next season they're more likely than us, but long term, no. Eriksen, though, coming back to the point, Kieran, he's worked under Ten Hag before. When he was a free agent, he trained under him, so he understands the system, his training regimes. He's played for Ajax before. That's another part, of his career. He understands that kind of ethos and atmosphere of the club. And he's capable of playing multiple positions, which I think Ten Hag would want. The 10, the 8 for sure. Maybe not the 6, but Bruno could be utilized as an 8 next season. So if Bruno's utilized an 8, you've got maybe Donny as a 10 option 1 and Eriksen as a 10 option 2. And like we've all been saying, I don't think Eriksen will be wanting playing game in, game out, and I don't think his body might be able to take that. I'm not sure. We don't know. He got a good reception when he was at Old Trafford, though, when he played against us at Brentford. We gave him a really good reception. So I would like to see him at the club for sure. And I think he's a fabulous player. A little bit less of the low percentage player like Bruno. Bruno likes to play a lot of low percentage passes, whereas Eriksen likes to keep the ball. And like Nathan was saying, the quality is definitely there. With delivery.
You need that to pull ball possession a bit more.
Yeah, and he will understand all of that. So for all those reasons, and it's a free transfer. Can I just come on to the point that Gareth Bale's also a free transfer?
Yes.
Would
Isco's
you take Gareth Bale?
100%.
Yeah, in a heartbeat.
100%. Isco is also a free agent. Usman Dembele and Bernardeschi from Juventus
Yeah, that's another one that's been linked actually, Bernardeschi.
Are also free agents. So I feel like Man United, we're in the situation where we're haggling in the market, which Garth mentioned quickly. That's why I wanted to mention the free agents that I would like to have a look at. We should definitely be looking into that market then, because we've been dragging our heels in the market, and there is free agents there, and Eriksen's definitely up there with one of them.
All right. Alex, Christian Eriksen, big fan. Would you like to see him at Man United?
Yeah, definitely. I was like, literally, while everyone was talking, I was like, listen, Eriksen is literally the Harry Kane of Denmark. I'm not even joking, in a sense that, and I say this like he was the youngest player to play in the World Cup in 2010. When he came to, like, he's played at Ajax, he's played at Spurs, he was like 21, he was really young. And I think like he had 14 assists like across all competitions in one season. And I know that he's not 21 anymore, he's 29. But I feel like his career
Still a good
trajectory
age.
has been amazing, and he's also a winner. He's won a Scudetto. He's worked under Conte. This guy knows how to play football, and I think I'd even pick him over Bruno to start. I would trust him more because I feel like he knows the game. He's intelligent. He creates more opportunities for his fellow teammates. That's what I used to see him do at Spurs. So for me, I'm like, it's a no-brainer. Like, I want him to play for us. And I think there was like a crazy stat that I read before that was like in his early games, he scored like in 32% of his games. And Ronaldo, if you want to say in his early times United, if you call him midfielder, he scored in 36% of his games. So, I mean, you look at that and you think, oh, like that comparison. So, listen, it's a no-brainer for me. Eriksen all day. I think that he's got such a great intelligence. He's such a professional as well. And it just comes out of him so easily. And I would love for him to come play United. 100% would love that.
Yeah.
Right character type of player we need to add.
Yeah. And he said it's not essential for him to play in the Champions League as well. So, he's up for the grabs, I feel like.
And he actually just remembered he under Conte, it didn't really work out. They just didn't. It didn't work out, did it?
He didn't play much, did he? I remember.
Didn't play much. The first season he played average amount. The second season he hardly played at all. And he was vying to try and get his go back to Tottenham in that second season as well. So
I mean, managers they decide your career.
Exactly.
Decide.
I think they play with wing backs, and he just didn't. I don't think he worked. His work rate was as high as what Conte wanted. Yeah. Another player being linked with Manchester United is Derby County striker Michael Abewi. Garth, you had a little look at him. What's he saying? Is he something that Man United could bring in as a maybe a gamble or a guinea pig kind of thing? What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, it's Malcolm Ebewi. I think in it, not Michael, but anyway, he's 18. Is it? It's Malcolm in it.
I said Malcolm.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway, sorry, I didn't hear you right. Yeah, he's 18. It's one of them signings. It could go either way. He looks good out on the wing for Derby. Only come into form, only started playing at the end of the season, but 16 games, a goal and a couple of assists for them. Done really well. I can see him becoming a striker more. He's like 6'1", got some pace behind him, power behind him. Yeah, but it's one of them signings, isn't it? It ain't what we need right now. I'd like to see him come into the club, and then we can build and he sits there and becomes something in a couple of years. But he'll come in, we'll send him out on loan, we'll just Dallo or Palestri him. So I don't even know why we're really looking at him. And the rumours are big. Like, it looks like it's a proper rumour as well. We're really
he's linked. He's linked with you and Crystal Palace meant to be the front runners. So it looks like something's definitely in there. So it remains to be
good
seen.
prospect though. Good prospect, but not what we need.
Nathan, would you be bringing in a striker, whether that was a first team or a prospect? Would you be bringing someone in now?
Yeah, bring in a striker if possible. I'm obviously looking to the other positions first, but when it comes to this player here, you know, he's got good skills, got good ability to take a player on. He's in a similar boat as Ahmad and the Palestri kind of player. So to get someone like that in, untested in a Prem, it just don't make no sense. You might as well give Palestri a chance and let him try and do that. So I wouldn't go for him now. Like I say, he fits like the description of a Crystal Palace youngster coming through, you know, being let loose to just rip it up down the wings and stuff. That's what, you know, like just learn your trade, just ripping it. Like, yeah, just take him on. Just take on whoever across the board. But that's
No
what
pressure.
do. They bring them players, go and do what you want. So he's better fit to go somewhere like that right now. That I feel. We definitely, obviously, we do need a striker. We know that. But here's the thing. If Ten Hag plays the right football, we have some players that can probably do something. I'm not throwing this guy in the bin yet. Anthony Martial is not in the bin for me. Even though all the rubbish I've seen from him, I think it's a lot to do with the whole structure of what we've been doing. He relishes quality football, quality balls get brought into him. If you have quality balls into him, he will score goals. And we've seen his finishing. And if you know, he had one of the best shots to goals ratios in the Prem of all the forwards when he was scoring them goals. And it's just because he was feeding off scraps. So little scraps is unbelievable. But his goals to shots ratio, unbelievable. So I'm not going to say we need someone if he's going to stay in the side. I think we're going to get a tune out of him. He's someone who I really think we're going to get a tune out of. Rashford, I think we're probably going to get a tune out of him. And that just means that we've got two players back that we never had last year. So Rashford, obviously, because he just wasn't there in himself. But Martial, he just wasn't there. And he's injured as well. So, yeah, I don't think we really need to go down the route massively for a striker. I'm looking central defence, central midfield, and that right side, like more than anything. Those three are the main for me. Then you get your fullback and a striker at the same time for the next window. I'd love to see Anthony in there. And like we said, the players that we already know, I'm not going to even need to mention them again. Them players we're trying to get, or maybe not trying to get, or I don't know what we're doing, but hopefully something will come in the news in the next few days.
All right. Marcel, would you be bringing in a striker or like Nathan, would you be looking within with what you got already in the squad?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to echo what Nathan's saying in terms of there's a priority here. And I think the two midfielders and maybe even a centre-back and full-back are the priority. But if I was to, because it kind of depends how you're looking at things. Are you pitch focused or on board level? Because on the pitch, you know, we know there's about 5 or 6 different things that need to be changed within the squad. You know, we've had so many outgoing. So, you know, in terms of pitch, we know we're demanding maybe about 5 or 6 signings. But, you know, when you put the context of the board level in, it's a fixed budget. With the fixed budget comes prioritizing things, you know, and that's kind of an example that we know in our lives. You know, you got to kind of budget things and prioritize. This is more important. So with that context put in, 2 midfielders first, maybe a fullback or somebody in the defensive line, a right winger potentially, and that's why you have to look in house already with what you've got. Rashford coming back in a more improved form, and then Martial for sure, who, like Nathan was saying, I think he will flourish in this system. Not a player that I particularly want at the club, but I'm supporting every single player that comes and starts next season.
All right. Alex, are you giving up on Martial? You had enough time to move on.
I wanted to answer the other question because I was like, Malcolm.
Which
I was
one?
like, no, Malcolm on. I was like, what?
Go on. What's your thoughts? What's your thoughts on the player?
When you said he was linked with Crystal Palace, I was like, hell no. I don't know a striker that's linked with the Crystal Palace one.
He's 18. You don't write him off already.
With all due respect, no, thank you. And also, like, he was at Chelsea. He went for a trial at West Ham. He was at Arsenal. They let him go because, like, he had some like disciplinary issues or the work ethic. No thanks. Like, championship player for a reason. Sometimes, sorry to say, respectfully. No, thank you. So that's my answer to that.
And he's more winger, He's more winger.
Yeah, he's more of a winger. He's a winger. He will be a striker though.
Having it at all. Watch this kid go and play for England next season or something.
And to do that Crystal Palace is fine. I'm happy.
He looks good
on that situation. You can keep that. I don't
Like
need
Chelsea,
that.
I just want to say, Alex, Chelsea are not the bar to be going around with and saying that Chelsea released him. They released two of the best players currently playing in the world right now. Kevin De Bruyne and Mohamed Salah.
Arsenal released him as well. So what?
And-
Where's
Hey, when it comes to discipline, Musiala.
Who's going to be one of the best in the world?
Gnabry.
You're saying he's the next Salah?
Hey,
Are you saying he's the next Salah? Is that what you're saying? 'Cause-
No. Savage.
But yeah,
Ability to take players for fun. Like, he has got that dribble ability about him that he can take anyone on, cut in, play a ball, but you want to see the end product as well. So you want to see goals and assists from the end of it. I can't see a lot of that yet. So that's where you go, okay, let's see.
Needs a little bit more time.
Ahmad do some work like that, because I think Ahmad's got it as well. He just doesn't have the other side maybe defensively because of his stature. But let's see how he can grow into it. Let him try and be a Messi, innit? Let's just try and get him into that Messi position.
Let's just see him play in the Premier League.
We've built this kid up now.
No, but the thing is,
he's a cross between Salah and Messi.
I remember watching him when he's at Atalanta because I done a little prior profile on him, and I was like, "This kid's unreal. I want him at my team. This kid's unreal." And then when Man United bought him, I was like, "Oh, you've got a player here," and he just hasn't played. Like, he just hasn't played, and it's just like, why? And then when he went to Rangers, you thought, oh, this would be a good move for him. Started well, got injured, didn't come back into the team, really.
It's just the physical side. It's just the physical side for me, Kieran.
Yeah.
You know, he played in the Champions League for us. He scored in the Europa League before the game before. There's goals to his game. He's very technical. It's just he's just not filled out into his man size, the man strength, as people would call it.
Yeah.
He's not developed as a man. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah.
And he didn't. People keep saying this about Rangers. He did all right at Rangers as well. Like he's got like 4 assists and a goal for him. Like he just didn't get the game time. He only played 9. Like he done all right for him.
I think it was the fact that it's the game time, though, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah, but if you're not getting the game time, you can't prove yourself. Same as Man United, isn't it? Like I'd not buy another winger while we've got Dallo at all. Period. But I would like to ask Nathan and Marcel where their confidence that Martial's going to become good from. He's scored 9 goals in 3 years. Like 3. Where's that coming?
Now look, I know what's needed. Like, I know one thing I do realize is sometimes when I'm looking at a player, I'm not just seeing him as he's not scored, he's not done well. I know he's not like a guy who works well off the ball. He don't chase lost causes. He's not that kind of player. But when he gets a chance, he scores a goal. That's what we all got to agree with. When he gets a chance, he's scoring. He doesn't often miss his chances. Okay, he might not be a header of the ball. That's a bit different. Get that ball on the floor, he scores goals. My point is, if he's playing in a system where they create chances for him, I believe he will score goals. I don't think he will have like 5 goals, 10 goals in the season. He'll score 20 or 18, 20 like the other season when Greenwood, Rashford, and he got 20 between them, 20 something.
You know he's only done that once in his entire career. He's scored more than 17 goals.
Yeah, that's the only time we really played a proper attacking football where all 3 players had something about them. You get what I mean? Other than that, you had dead squad with Pereira and Fred in the midfield, and you had, them time you can't do nothing there. You had no, you know what we had anyway. I don't need to go. Have nothing. I'm telling you, structure means everything. And anyway, I'm not going to go into too much detail. I think that's probably for another show.
Well, it'll be for the start of the season. We see him play. If he's still there. All right, let's get on to the fixtures now. The fixtures came out at 9 o'clock this morning. And let's see what people's thoughts are on them. So Man United start off with Brighton, then Brentford. Nice little run up for the Liverpool game at home. Bosh, 3 points, surely, away from home.
Wow.
Hustle, the White Rabbit, the old Hustle Halter, whatever his name. Boom, Bosh, Southampton away from home, 3 points. Leicester City, get in the bin. There we go, another 3 points. First 5 games, winner, chicken dinner. Nathan, what was your first thoughts on the start of the season, on the first few fixtures for the new campaign for Man United?
As soon as I saw it, I thought, Brighton are going to be on it like they were last year, and we better just be on it. We better have a proper full preseason with all our new players in from the start, not coming in before that first game and then they're just getting bled in then. I said, please, just have everybody fit and we have like some extra players in the side. And I think we'll do okay against Brentford. I do. And I'm happy it's a home game. I always look to the season and I always look and go, where's the first game? Where's the last game? Is it at home? And I was like, yes, it's at home. I used to love playing at home last game of the season. You don't have to travel anywhere. The season's over and you just know you can just home after. It's great.
Hey, it's Nathan. I need to answer this, yeah. As an ex-professional footballer, is they're playing with flip-flops on? Is that an actual thing? Have you switched? The players fully switched off. They're thinking about holidays in the Seychelles, last game of the season. You might be playing bottom of the league, but you're safe. Is it? Does it matter? Is it like that? I'm not.
No, play, man. You play to win the games. Every game I play to win the game. Play to score my goals. Score as many as I can. No matter where I was, no matter what happened, you play to score as many as you can until that whistle blows. Like, that's just the way I was taught, and that's the way my teammate taught me as well. He goes, when you get two, don't stop there. Don't just relax. I used to do it where you get a goal and you say, okay, great. My goals ratio is good. I'm all right now. Even if I don't score next game, it's still 1-2. Kick them while they're down. Keep going. Smash them. Get as many goals as you can. Do not stop. I was like, oh my gosh, what's up with you?
I like that.
It made me realize, you know what? That's like the devilment inside you as a striker. You got to have that. Like, continue smashing them in the ground until that whistle blows. So that's when I would get my, like a hat trick instead of two, and stuff like that. So that's what it matters. Mentality. Winner's mentality, no matter what it is. Playing on the side, on the pitch, training up, anywhere, whatever you do, that winner's mentality. And you see it in a lot of other pros when you're hanging with them, doing whatever. It's like they don't want to lose, no matter what it is. And with most players, there are some that.
All right, Garth. So we'll start with the first start of the season. Garth, what was your first thoughts with the opening few games of the season?
Oh God, here we go again. Football back. Get time. Nathan touched on it, which is he was saying we need all our players before the start of pre-season. That's in 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, whenever it is we start our tour, and we haven't got a single transfer over the line. We're in trouble. I don't think we're talking in the group. I can easily see us coming away from their first 5 games with 2 points, 3 points. You know what I mean? Well, didn't Brighton just thump us 4-0 at the end of the season? Brentford are a good team. Leicester, we struggle against Leicester a lot. We struggle against Leicester. Liverpool, they're going to smash us up. And Southampton is not like we always beat them either. We drew 1-1 with them in the second game of last season, didn't we? But I can't get excited for new season until I see new players.
Yeah.
Because we've got the same team minus 6 players, and new manager. But if these players didn't work for Ralph, why are they going to work for Eric? I can't get excited. And if we're going on what we've got today, we're coming out of that poorly. So not excited at all at the moment.
Marcel, you looking forward to the new season?
Yes, I am.
There we go. That's what I'm looking for.
Going to OT is always a good experience, man. And I believe that we can get at least out of those 5 games. If you're looking at just in the August, Kieran, it's got to be 3 wins. Brighton away, Brighton at home. Sorry, we won that game. Potter did have a little bit of a disadvantage. That red card was very peculiar. But we got the job done. Ronaldo came, trumps that game, and just the fact that we're coming into a new season with a Ten Hag system, I feel like you're gonna see a different footballer in all these. Last season was the worst version of these footballers that we're gonna get. I think, for sure, it was the worst version of these footballers. So I understand how Garth feels about it. And at the end of the day, we need to get business done. We need to start behaving like we need to go as we need to start as we mean to go on. We're not looking like a big football club right now. But I genuinely believe that Brighton at home, very winnable. And we won it last season. Brentford away, we won that game last season as well. Yeah. Yes, number 11 was a part of that, but Bruno played very well. De Gea made some lot of saves in the first 30 minutes or so. That was a good game for us. Liverpool at home, hopefully we express ourselves in a different manner than what we did in that game. You know, Oli had just sat back and allowed the opposition to come onto us with the five at the back. It was like we was defeatist. Hopefully Ten Hag gives us a different posture in that game. Very positive for at least a draw, but I'm going to put that one down as a loss. I believe the next game was, let me just see it because I'm actually on the Man United show on Twitter right now because you've got it on there. Southampton away. It was a dull game, yes. You know, Martial was ineffective. Greenwood scored that game. Fred got bullied by Nivamento, and Bruno, you know, was lapsing concentration, gets tackled, and they go on to score Chad Adams. But again, I feel like there's a different posture for that game for us this time around. Leicester, it's in 3 days away though, so it's Southampton. Then 3 days later, it's Leicester. You could maybe draw, and like Garth has said, that's a bogey team for us. It's not been well. But then when you go into the next month, you got Arsenal. I think that's a win. I always back ourselves to win. That was the most amazing game at OT against Arsenal last season. High intensity game, very good vibes, and we won it. So for me, it looks like 3 out of the 5 and a draw maybe. I'm very positive about coming into the new season.
Right, I'll be interested to see how Brighton do as well next season, because they're very good. They're a very good passing team, but they're not big goal scorers. They had a very good season of goal scoring last season, but usually they're not. So it'll be interesting to see how they get on. We all know Danny Welbeck, a very good player, like as a team player, but he's not a goal scorer. Neil Maupay, not a massive goal scorer. And the same goes for Trossard. So they've lost Basuma as well. So I'm not 100% sure it's going to be the same Brighton. So, but it will be interesting to see how they get on. Alex, what's your first thoughts for the start of the season?
I was buzzing. I don't know what these are talking about. I was so hyped. I was like, okay, let's break it down. We look at like Brighton, like you just said. You know, they've lost Basuma. I mean, I'm hearing that Man City want to go for Cucurella. So there you go. That's another one. They're one of their creators, so that he's gone. They're not very good at scoring goals, okay? They're very good at, you know, being utility players and being versatile, but they're not very good. I mean, I've seen so many games where they've lost, and it's like, wow, you lost to that team. So I literally am on that new season, new manager bounce where United are going to come through. And like, okay, yes, we've lost some players, but we're going to get players back. So I feel like that is a win for us. I'm not saying they're all great, but I feel like I've seen like even Aaron Wan-Bissaka, he had a video and he was like, yeah, working. I was thinking in my mind, who's going to tell him? But he's prepped. He's getting
He's trying.
I see Rashford's like, you know, I'm like, listen, they're building themselves an army. So I'm ready for that. I think for me as well, I was like, oh yes, we've got Liverpool the first month, because I was like, listen, these guys, they missed out on the champs, they missed out on the Prem. Oh, heartache, what a suffer, the quad. Oh my god, you know, that's gonna hurt. So they're gonna try and come back. But listen, you see Liverpool the first 4 or 5 games of the season, they're not that great. They probably will beat us. But they're still not. We might even get a draw. We might even get a draw. Yeah. So so I'm happy about that first. And then
this is what I like to hear.
And then I was thinking about Southampton. Mayor, you know, Ward-Prowse is looking to run off to West Ham or Spurs or something like that. I saw the report somewhere. So they lose that guy, and then who's going to score the free kick? So, and first game of the season, and they're not always that great. And then I was like, Leicester. Listen, I've been following Madison, on Instagram. This guy is out there drinking it up. So I'm thinking by August, this guy's still going to be on a long-term hangover. He's not going to be ready. This guy's not going to be ready. So they're going to lose that guy. I'm just like, it's the best start to the season we can have for. Come on.
So positive.
There we go. What
was the start to our season last year? Because it was pretty similar, weren't it?
Even easier.
That's all I remember.
Even easier, Garth. Even easier.
Even easier. Let's have a look. Let's start our season. We drew 1-1 with Southampton, lost to Young Boys. 2-1. Like, I don't know where this hope's coming from out of you lot, because we have been absolute trash for about 18 months.
We beat Leeds 5-1 at the start of the season.
Let's Leeds. We smash Leeds up every game. Let's Leeds.
Garfield,
Brighton, the team that don't score many goals, just beat us 4-0. Remember that as well. You know, this team that don't score many goals smashed us up.
No. The context to that, Garth. Context to that, Garth.
Not under
What
Eric.
context?
Next season.
No.
We've got the same team. We've got the same
Yeah, but
team that
Brighton-
lost 4-0 to them.
Brighton haven't.
They ain't either.
But Brighton haven't got the same team. I've just said Brighton have lost their main midfielder.
And this is my problem with Man United right now. Is what we're hoping for is that these teams have got worse, not that we've got better. We're hoping that Brighton have lost their best player so that we can go and beat them. And that's not like we're in trouble, man. We're in trouble.
I'll take the advantage where I can.
No, I genuinely believe in the Ten Hag magic. I genuinely believe that Ten Hag will be able to restructure this team and play in a more positive posture. I really do believe that he can improve these players, Garth. I do agree with you though. Like we were shocking. There's no questions about it. You know, there's no questions about it. We were the worst team out of that top six, and that showed it in the position. But genuinely speaking, you know, we did beat Brighton. We did beat Brighton at home, you know, and that's the game that it's going to be. Southampton, you're right. It was a very dull performance early on in the season. Very shocking. They weren't up to scratch. But Ten Hag started the preseason 2 weeks early. By the way, it's starting at the time that it's starting because Ten Hag has made it so. So he's coming into the business. He means business.
Yeah, no, I agree with you entirely. It's hope that we've got. It's hope that he's got the new manager bounce. That these players, remember, we got no new manager bounce with Ralph. We got none. These players just threw him under the bus. And yeah, he may not be the same sort of manager, but I don't look. These players have proven with Solskjaer, with Ralph, they don't care. And so I don't understand where it's like, oh yeah, new manager, like they didn't care last time. Why are they going to care this time? We need people to come in and raise them up. Yeah, and Ten Hag can't do that on his own. He can't. He needs people on the pitch that are going to do that.
All right. So before we go on, Alex, thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Yay! Loved it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right. We got probably the main point, the one I keep on hearing about. All right. If Garth's like that for August, what is he going to be like for October? Nathan, October, you face Manchester City away, Everton away, Newcastle at home, Tottenham at home, Chelsea away, and West Ham at home. Nathan, what's your thoughts on that fixture list there?
That's a nightmare month, bro. That's a nightmare month. Because number one, we know City already. And we know Haaland's going to be bagging 4 goals if we got that same defense. So we need to sort ourselves out there. Then you're talking about Everton. Okay, they'll probably be a team that we can beat. Then you go against Newcastle, who are on the resurgence. They got players they're bringing in everywhere, left, right, and centre. They're going to be dangerous next year. And I'm telling you, they're going to beat teams that you don't expect them to beat. They'll lose against people you don't expect them to lose. They'll just be one of them teams that, like, obviously done a lot better than this last season just gone. And they're just, like, angling to get up into that top 6 in the next couple of years. So they're going to be a danger for us. We need to make sure that we're ahead of them at all times. That's our yardstick right now. Like, it's weird, but we don't want them overtaking us as that mediocre number 6 team. We need to be higher than them and them being that mediocre number 6 team. That's what I think. Then you move on. We've got Chelsea, as you know, they're going to be strong as hell, as always. Always tough to break down. And we just got to be better. At the end of the day, I'm very optimistic of Van der Beek coming in and being that little bit of a link between the midfield and the attack and the defense and the midfield. It makes a massive difference in the team. I remember when Carrick used to not play and we never had any of that. And then even at his old age, him coming in and shoring things up and controlling the game just because it's the way he is. I know he's a different type of player, but that's the kind of effect that he can have. I think Donny can have on this side on linking players up. And especially if Ten Hag then tells everyone where they need to be running, it's over, mate. I'm telling you, we got enough. Not we got enough. I don't say we got enough. What I'm saying is we got enough that we're not going to be the same dead team as last year. We're not. I'm saying with Van der Beek in there and Martial back, even just those 2 back, we're not going to be as bad as we were against them. So, yeah, I think we're going to have a tough old month that month. But, again, it all depends on who else we bring in. If we get an Anthony in, that makes us even more fluid in attack. we get someone else in midfield that makes us even better, I think we can start competing again, like for top 4. If we get a couple players in that we really, really want, our first choice, I think we can start competing again. Because we were second. It is true. We were second with the majority of this squad that was playing. At the end of the day, I know it got disjointed and loads of people changed. Vital cogs are needed. And when they're in, it makes a massive difference. So for me, I'm not too worried right now. I got to see what we're working with when the season starts. I've got to see what we're working with. And then I'll make my decision then. If you see Van der Beek not playing, and then you see Fred and McTominay still playing, and and you start seeing Maguire still playing, and Telles still playing, and then you're like, wait a minute, this is just a rerun of last year. Then you're going to be struggling if you've not got no players. But I can't see that happening. Ten Hag, I believe in you.
All right, Garth. October.
Yeah.
Oktoberfest. Will it be an Oktoberfest for everyone who comes to play Manchester United? Or will it be a Oktoberfest for Manchester United picking up 3 points game by game?
Listen, by October we'll know. You know what I mean? By October, I'm going to need a few beers if it's like last season for October. There's no two ways about that. I'm going to need a couple daily. But look, by then we'll know. We've had 8 games by then. I presume Europa League starts by then as well, October. Yeah. So we've got
Europa League from way back, like in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah. So I meant group stage. But anyway, you know what I mean. Like, listen, by then we know, and I'm hopeful as well. I'm just not going out there like everyone else. I hope Ten Hag does what we're hoping he's going to do. I really do. But these players, all season last year, we were saying they haven't got the legs to do what Ralph wants. Mm-hmm. Where are they suddenly going to get these legs to do what Ten Hag wants? Like,
Garth, who do you think's going to be playing? Like, in the positions that we're looking at that started last year, do you think the same players are going to be playing? Or do you not
pretty much.
Like Donny's going to play? Do you not think like Martial might play? Do you not?
Well, yeah, but I hope
some legs.
I hope Martial doesn't play because he hasn't got legs. And Donny van der Beek isn't a leggy player either. He's a passer, he's a quality centre midfielder. Yeah, listen, we're hoping that Van der Beek comes in and performs. He didn't at Everton. He didn't for 2 years at Man United. We never played him. Successive managers didn't want him. I know Ten Hag's different because he will play the Ten Hag system. So we're hoping, hope. That's what it is. Like, but I cannot put faith in the players that we've got in this squad right now after what I've seen for 12, 15, 16 months. I can't.
But because do you not think you got a bounce when Ollie first came in?
No, we got the bounce when he was interim manager. The moment he signed his full-term contract was when it started going downhill. Yeah, we come second, but that was a dodgy league, and now we're well off the pace. Like, that was the best that we got, you know what I mean? And we're Man United, and we're talking about coming second once in 5 years. Like, it ain't good enough. Like, these players are not good enough. I know we're talking about fixtures, but yeah, listen, we get the players in that Ten Hag wants. We get De Jong, which is looking more and more likely we're not. Then it's a different landscape. But we're talking about today, right here, today. We haven't got anyone. We're going into the season with the players that we've got, and they are not good enough. Yeah, period.
And if it's the same squad, we're struggling.
Yeah. So it's like, until I know exactly what Nathan's saying, until I know what personnel we've got for next season, I cannot come at this with hope. I can't, because it's the same players that threw Ralph under the bus, the same players that threw Solskjaer under the bus. It's the same team. Like, how much magic is I could be well wrong. Maybe Ten Hag comes in and everything changes on a dime. Klopp did it, but it took a while, you know what I mean? But he changed the atmosphere in the team. He changed the dynamic of the dressing room.
Which Ten Hag would have to do. That's I'd say, look, if you can't bring it. Ten Hag can't bring in new players and have these players on the same attitude that they've had for the last 2 seasons. So whatever happens, Ten Hag has to change the mentality of the team. He has to. And I'd say he's probably doing that by bringing in players 2 weeks earlier than they should be. And the fact that you're hearing that players are worried that they're going to lose their spot in their team. That's key signs for me, that players are worried that they're going to lose spots in their team.
You see, I see that completely differently, where it's like he hasn't changed it. The leaks are still happening. I'm hearing about how Maguire's worried that his captaincy's going to be up and he needs to speak to the manager. I'm reading leaks of... Sorry.
I see leaks everywhere. And we can say this is Man United, but there's a certain level There's a certain level. I feel like you're going to hear leaks. Like, this is the modern day. It's not 20 years ago. Everyone is on socials. You're going to hear leaks. It's just what you're hearing.
Yeah, but let me rephrase then. It wasn't about the leaks per se. It's the tone of the leaks. It's still a divided dressing room. People are still unhappy. There's more what I was saying. Like, Ten Hag has got so much work to do with this squad, with the backroom staff, with the board. We've still got the same owners. We've still got the same everything. And I just cannot get hopeful again because at the moment, nothing's happening.
The only thing I will like to add to that is when the team's not winning, there's always negatives. No one's happy. No one's going to be happy. So as soon as you start winning, everything's fine. Like, that's what happens. You start winning, everything is fine. You get days off for fun. You know, you get whatever. You get to do this and do that. As soon as you start losing games, everyone's talking about everyone else. Manager to this, manager that. You should be playing. You should be playing. Why are you not playing? Everyone says the same. And now you've got social media. And then you've got newspapers saying whatever they want as well on top of that. Like,
filling in the gaps.
Fakes, yeah. So then that's where all the madness comes in. Obviously, United's been a total breeding ground for whatever you want to say for the last how long? You're just losing game after game, innit? So,
all right. And Marcel, October, what's your thoughts?
So yeah, just on that as well. You know, Teddy Sheringham, Andy Cole didn't like each other. Winning, no problem. Mo Salah, Mane don't like each other as far as I'm concerned. You know, they're winning, no issue. So definitely understand that sentiment. I think September, just quickly, 3 wins. Look, I'm very confident of the 3 wins there, but it's a squad game, is what I'd like to say. That's 6 fixtures in 4 weeks. So, you know, there's going to be 2 double weeks there. Plus, you know, we've already mentioned in the discussion, Europa League. It's a squad game. And, you know, I've been speaking to Ajax fans, and they say one of, you know, the negatives that Ten Hag has is his ability to rotate. He's going to be coming to a league that he doesn't know fully and doesn't understand fully. So he's going to have a bit of a teething period. The squad, the trust, the squad, all these things. And that October month, Kieran, and guys in general, is, you know, that's top half of the table. Every single one of those teams there that's what they're going to be looking for. And we still want to have the ambition of doing well within the Europa League. That's a difficult month. That is a very, very difficult month. So, you know, I'm not very confident, but I'm very hopeful at the same time, because if he does get that rotation correct, if he does, you know, if Martial is firing, and if players that are, you know, that we want to step up there, you know, you could maybe pick up wins against Everton, against Newcastle, and maybe West Ham. But the other games are very, very difficult games. You know, they're managers that understand the league much longer than Ten Hag. They know the rotation is necessary. They know it's a squad game. They're almost probably more experienced at the higher level, or at this Premier League level, than him, you know, at Man City, at Tottenham, West Ham, Chelsea. So very difficult month for us there. But, you know, August and September should be the teething period for the squad in terms of learning the system and how he plays. And hopefully by then we'll be a bit more consistent in our type of football. There's going to be mistakes throughout the whole season anyway. So, you know, there's going to be some big results. But I'd just like to see how Ten Hag plays against the more superior teams, like the Man Cities, like the Tottenhams, how he's going to structure this team defensively. Because you're going to need some of them steel players that we don't like, you know, generally, you know, the McTominays, the Freds. We're going to utilize those type of players in those games. So I'd like to see their roles. But I don't look very positive. I'm hopeful at most. It's not I definitely agree with Garth's sentiment in the sense that month there, and everyone's sentiment really, is just a horrible month.
It's rough.
Yeah.
But the end of the season, though, last 2 games could be vital. Brighton versus Brighton and Fulham, big games, could be the light at the end of the tunnel you need.
Can't look that far in.
top 4, maybe.
I mean, you got to throw in, you know, the World Cup. Players could get injured.
Yes,
it's very
a big one as well. Is it November?
It's in November to December. So and that's why October's so stacked, and the Europa League would be so stacked. So it's a huge learning curve for Ten Hag. And this, you know, I like to think of things positively. Going into his second season, the amount of education and understand and knowledge that he's going to have about this team going through the tough times in October, they're going to have to believe in what he's trying to show them and trying to execute. So, he's going to have so much valuable knowledge about the squad that he could have got from Ralph, but he's decided to stick with the players and believe in the players and say, you know what, these can achieve a certain level. It's going to be a very interesting season to just watch our team work. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Just to note on that, it's not just the board that need to be patient. We as fans need to be very patient for the next year as well. Like if it doesn't go right to begin with, we need to like that's a plea to all Man United fans everywhere. We need to be patient. We need to give this man time because he is a football genius. There's no two ways about it. I've got nothing against him. I'm not saying he can't do it. I hope he can do it as well. But yeah, I can easily see come October us being in like 12th, 13th. It's not quite working. He hasn't quite figured out who slots in where exactly what Marcel's saying, what personnel works best in what position. Maybe a Fred or a McTominay works really well with Frankie de Jong if we get him. Because that's the other thing. I don't see a Van der Beek de Jong centre midfield partnership being robust enough for the Premier League. Like every game, I really don't. I don't see that. You need that destroyer in there. You need someone who can break up play. So,
do you know, Garth? It's a really interesting point, and I think you're right. We do need the destroyer type. But I've spoken to Ajax fans, and they say that's a dream midfield. Frankie de Jong, Donny van der Beek, and Bruno. They're saying that's magical. That's a magical midfield
for the Premier League or for Holland.
Yeah, see, but I don't think they understand the Premier League like how we do. So, but at the same time, they say in terms of the creativity. And they hop back to that 17-18 season, I believe it was in the Champions League, where it was very fluid. So I don't know. It's very interesting to see what will happen.
It depends for me. It depends who you have at the back. If you got Maguire at the back, you can't play those three. So it all depends. So if you got players who can defend 1-on-1 at the back, then you might be able to get away with it. But when you got that, nah, it's not going to happen. You're not going to be able to do it.
So I'd put money on. I'd put everything I own on Maguire being our starting centre back next season.
Yeah,
100%.
That's the problem. That's an issue. So we definitely got to go and get two centre defensive midfielders then, because if he's playing, we're definitely in trouble. So I ain't gonna have no hope. I'm gonna be exactly like you, Garth. If I see him starting, I'm saying give up this season. Give it up. We might as well forget buying any other players, because we need a player who can defend 1-on-1. Otherwise, you are not going to see us pushing up halfway line and seeing that guy in centre back. I don't care. I've had enough of seeing that him playing. He's not at the standard we need. He's really way off the standard we need. When you've got every team at the bottom of the league happy when they're playing against you, you know that you're not good enough.
Striker's getting that team sheet like Maguire.
Hey, you playing? Harry, you playing?
I'm feasting tonight,
My guy, Harry. Right, before we go, to be honest, Man United are a bit of an unknown because we don't know the signings they will have and the style of play. Because maybe Ten Hag wants to play differently from how he played with Ajax. Is what you're getting at. That United squad need a manager who will strike fear in them and always keep them on their toes, because those group of players relax a lot. All right. So there's your fixtures in. There's the Pogumentary. There's a couple of transfers. Christian Eriksen and the boy from Derby. Thank you for joining us tonight, people. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, Nathan.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, Garth.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, Marcel.
Thank you, guys, man. It was good speaking to you all, man.
All right. And as I always say, please hit that like and subscribe. Go and follow the Man United show. Gosh. All right. Peace out, people. Stay safe and wash your hands.